Danny J.
Hello and welcome to Three Dudes and a Lady. Join us for a little inspiration, a little motivation, and perhaps a way to cope with things that come along in your day. I am Mike Jones from Virginia. My gratitude today is for water and how the quality and quantity can change lives.
Good morning, folks. My name is Earl Rule. I live in beautiful North Carolina. My gratitude for this morning is for the friendships I have built through men's fellowship in my church. And we had dinner last night and just building good connections and just good times.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jay Anderson. Uh, I know everybody gets tired of me promoting West Virginia. I do live in West Virginia, and yes, it's very well worth promoting. Anyways, my gratitude for the day is promoting West Virginia.
Guys, I am Christine Wright, hailing out of the great state of Florida. My gratitude for the day is rest. Today, Jay Shetty talked about what's working, right? A lot of times we are seeking improvements that maybe can improve our day to day, right? He also mentioned if it ain't broke, don't fix it. What's already working and being able to recognize it, right? Um, it's easy for us to second guess ourselves just because others are doing something different. We think we should follow them, right? He talked about an old parable where a guy was seeking to change his life, even though he had a pretty good life. He went to some guru and she gave him like 5 essential things to do. And as he left there, he was instead of taking the bridge to cross the water, he was just walking through the water, right? So she comes running after him and basically tells him that he doesn't need to change anything. What he's doing is already working, right? If you're having success, and what we mean by success is meaning you are living in alignment with your values, which a lot of times we don't look at success like that. We look at success as a monetary thing, right? Or a recognition thing. But if we are living in alignment with our values and you are living a successful life, right? So mindfully taking stock of where you're at in your journey, right? You may find opportunities for growth, but you also may find that you are doing great. And if it's working, you need to keep doing it. You guys, this is like huge, right? Like to me anyway, I really like this one because to me, like I am living fully in alignment with my values right now. Fully. Like completely and absolutely living in line with my values, even though sometimes Mike is too, my husband, even though sometimes we look at it as like we aren't successful, right? And we're not successful in society's eyes, right? Because success in society's eyes is completely different than the way we should view success, right? If you are living your life in alignment with your values and your character, you are definitely living a life of success. Even though you may not have the monetary part of it yet, you may not have like the houses or the boats or whatever the case may be, right? Because that's usually what success looks like on the outside, right? Especially at a surface level, instead of going deeper, which is how Jay is, right? He goes deeper all the time. And like that's why I like this one so much because it gave me like this aha moment of like what I'm doing now is what I'm meant to do, right? Living my life in alignment with my values. So I'm all in. I love it. What are you guys' thoughts?
First off, what was said before, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. It's okay. Yeah, if you're on something that you feel you're meant to do, then God bless you. I mean that's a good thing. It's okay to be creative with it. If you have an idea that can just elevate it just a little bit to what you like, that's okay too. It's not necessarily changing it; it's just growing it. That's all. And second of all, um, when you see people with all these fancy houses, the boats, and all that stuff, I think it's important that you need to engage what's in front of you, what makes you happy. I mean, if you're having an aha moment, and sometimes, people get misunderstood what other people have, but you don't know what they've been through or what they're doing. And sometimes, people get lucky because they have an inheritance that was passed on from a family member and they're able to, invest in that. But what's important is you need to value what makes you happy, what you're called on this earth to do to maintain that. And I think that's very important for those people watching here because some people might be looking, no, I know I want to be up there, but I'm down here. You have to live with the fact that you're right here for now and build what you're meant to do.
It's kind of like being
Because
in the
some,
waiting period, right? Like,
right, exactly.
yeah. And sometimes the waiting is what you need to build your character for the next thing, right?
That's right, exactly. And sometimes it takes a little while to build that pit. No, I don't want to use sorry, I used the wrong word. To build that destination, that light, that path, that light at the end of the tunnel where you want to be. Okay, sometimes it takes a little time. And some people don't have the patience for that. That's something that they have to learn. Okay, so
And maybe
that that
that's what they're
that
getting
to me
taught
is a key element.
in that moment is
Exactly.
patience, you know?
Right.
Maybe that's what their character is being built on is patience. Mine is pride and recognition,
Right.
right? That's what I have to work on because that's what I like. I am very proud and I like recognition, right? But I know that those are like values of mine that are not good. They're not good for my success, though, right? So it's one of those things I know I have to work on.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, it
I,
is.
I'm go I'm going to argue that point. I once thought I heard a wise person say, "What are you thinking?" Earlier today. But anyways, as content in here, what are you thinking? Because here's the thing, and it ties in what's working. The white elephant in this room on this particular conversation is the word success. It is the white elephant. The question is, how do we as individuals define success? One of the two of you said, you see someone here and you think you're here, but you want to be there. Is that definition of success because society says we have to move in that direction and we allow that to manipulate what we feel success is?
For sure.
I would think that success, I would think a high percentage of us as individuals thinks that success is somehow laced with financial status. Okay. I've learned in life of hard knocks, for me, for my success, the monetary side has absolutely no play or value to me other than I do want to make sure that my family is, we're provided for in the fashion that we like. And I think success for me is, am I happy? Do I feel like I'm a good human being? Is my family healthy? Does my family, do we have good times? Can we all exist as a family? A lot of families don't get along. They don't for so many different reasons. And it doesn't matter what the reason is, but so many families don't. Christine, let's face it, you have a very strong core within your immediate family. It's a bond that can't be broken. And you're hell bent to make sure of that. Okay. And I applaud you. As a matter of fact, I respect you for that. Okay.
Amen.
It's something that I can look at you from as a third party looking at you, and you might say, I don't feel successful, or these are things that I may work on. I'm looking from outside looking in, and that mirror says, I call you wrong. You're more
Okay,
successful.
maybe I'm not where I choose to be in life, right? Because mine are provide for my family, give more to my church, create generational resources, and advance God's kingdom, right? which
Okay.
I have our kids taken care of, but I don't have their kids' kids taken care of.
But that's not
Yes.
your job. That's not your
Yes, it
role.
is.
Not in your
It's in the
mind.
Bible. That is my job.
It's misinterpreted. You're
No,
again, you're thinking of the financial gain out of that.
no. I'm thinking of generational resources for my kids' kids. It doesn't mean it has to be
Okay.
monetary.
Let's go
It
back.
can be monetary.
Well, let's define resources then, because that's again is no different than the word success. It is in the eyes of the beholder.
Absolutely.
So we all feel that way. I think all of us have more going for us than what we
Oh,
realize.
for sure.
And that's because these little things and what we're on and TV and media, they paint pictures. Let me ask you something. And this is on world news, not your local news, but on world news. What's the very last segment that they do? What is that, generally speaking?
A feel-good story.
Why do we have to wait till the end? And it's only one thing of all the stories that are within that 30 minutes of content.
Mm-hmm.
Because feel-good stories don't sell.
Good stories sell.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? This is a wonderful piece of content. Guys, I think we just have to understand and redefine to our own self what success is. And I suspect a lot of us will pull goals into that. It doesn't have to be that way. Christine, you're damn successful. Don't think any other way.
I'm going to point something out too, Christine. Was it yesterday you posted the picture of you and Mike from different?
Yes, yeah, it was yesterday.
You both, in the current picture, not the one in the past, you both had a glow.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I would agree.
That means you're doing something right,
Yes.
or doing a lot right.
A lot.
Also want to comment on something that Jay said about, a lot of people like to keep score with money and possessions because one, I will say it's easy. It's something that you can look at someone and covet, and people with small minds will revert to using that as a scorecard.
Yep, for sure. Because think about it, like that is easy to use as a scorecard because you just can look on your phone, right?
It's a quick measurement. And
Yes.
We would do
sometimes
it.
it's
I
a
mean,
very misused
leaderboards,
measurement. Yeah.
money. Yeah,
Yeah.
we do it
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Leaderboards is a very good example, especially in the sales world, right? Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't have leaderboards, but that is definitely um something that is used to show who's successful and who's not, right? Even though that's not the way it should be.
Well, leaderboards kind of go like this, and this is something that we learned really back in the car days. I mean, we would put top dogs on a pedestal and say, "Man, you sold how many cars? Woo! You're on this list. You get this bonus. Blah 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 blah." The reality is, you find that those are the same people that just continue week after week after week after week after week do it. The sad part is they're not the majority. And what happens is the people down below, the upper level can say, well, competition is good. It is. But the problem is you need to make the competition for those that never really hit there. That's where the competition needs to take place. They don't need to be compared with the top list. Okay. And you guys can say I'm wrong as day, and that's fine. But I sit there and watch the morale month after month when you sit there and do weekly leaderboards. You know, hey, we're going to do 1,000. Here's an example. we're going to do $1,000 bonus for the person that gets over 15 cars out for the month. Okay. The reality in a small location, 15 cars is a good number. It really is. It's a solid number. I mean, people get 5 or 6. So what do you do to get those 5 or 6 in another level? Okay. And a lot of times leaderboards, what it does is it takes morale and it goes this way with morale. Okay. So I've never been a huge fan of leaderboards because I think they're misused. I don't think they're a bad thing, but I do think they're misused. And it's something that it's funny. Again,
It's the
it's in
old
the eye.
saying, if you want what somebody else has, are you willing to do what they did?
Right, exactly.
Or does it even align with your values? Think about your values. Is it in alignment with what you want personally? Because some people don't care if they're on the top of the leaderboards. They don't. Like Mike, my husband, he could care less about that. Like that is not his motivation at all. Yes, Jay, you're one of those people as well. Like it's not his motivation. His motivation is character, high value. That's what he is. And like you mess that up and you might as well forget it. He is done. His Hulk is coming out and it's over with, right?
I'd
But like
rather, uh,
the top salesman, maybe that's what they want. Maybe that is in alignment with their values, right?
and I will render this thought. Generally speaking, the top salespeople, they really don't care as much about their clients. You might have an exceptional group within there that truly care, and that's how they get that level. But the overall, it's a number, it's purely a number thing for them, and they will try to achieve it over and over and over because look, I don't care how I'm doing it, but I'm going to get is all these because and spit them up, chew them out, or chew them up, spit them out. Sorry, I didn't say that correctly.
Jay,
Anybody listening may judge me for this and think I'm crazy, but I have a date this afternoon to play Play-Doh. And that is more important to me than anything I can do with my business today.
Yes, love it. And nobody should judge you for that. That's awesome.
and Jay, you said something just a moment ago that caught my attention because you said some salespeople don't care about their clients or they just, blow up. See, now in the car world, I think that would resonate more because in our business, what we do, we're life insurance, we're licensed life insurance agents. Thank you. I can't talk. But what I'm saying is, if we're not following up with our clients, our business could dwindle because people look for that relationship.
Yeah,
And when
they
and
could
that
be
and,
following up.
Jump in
but
on this, Christine, because I
They
don't need to
could
be
be
the bad
following up,
guy
but
here.
I know top salespeople that could care less about their clients. They care about the money, right? Which is where
right,
greed comes in, and that's where fraud starts happening, things like that. But like they might care about their client in that moment of the
right.
sale, and they might care to follow up with them because they want to sell them another policy.
So, Earl, I'm going to, what she just said is spot on. And I agree 1,000% with that. Here's the deal. You want them to care because you want this profession to be that. That's what
Right.
you,
And
that's what you want. Okay.
well,
And
that right, and
kudos
that's
for
probably
that.
a very small. I'm very a small percentage. I'm not going to say I'm going to be caring for every single client that I have. I mean,
Well,
getting a piece of the puzzle is important. But what I'm saying is, if we show the passion of what we do in our business, I think that counts down the road. That I think that's what that. I mean, that's my opinion. That's what I feel.
that's what you want. That's your value, right? That's how
Oh,
you
that's my value, and that's how I first started in this industry.
and it's not bad at all. Like that's
Oh,
how you should feel.
That's
that
right,
is
exactly.
100% how you should feel.
That's right, exactly, and that's one of the reasons why I got into this business. I mean, am I looking, to make money on it? 100%. But
Oh,
the thing
sure,
is, if people
sure.
You got to provide.
people look for the relationship, they know that they're being taken care of. That's the thing. I mean, are we looking to make money? Absolutely. Am I going to try to sell policy to every person that I have? No, I want to get to know them better before we try to sell them a policy. I know there's going to be some constructive criticism on that. I'm just speaking from the heart.
I'm gonna
All
give
right.
you we'll give you a
That's what
little
I do.
statistic, and it's not life insurance related. Okay, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go back to the car business, and I apologize, Christine. Of all people,
No, no, you're good.
you're going to know this, and this is right 100% up your alley. And I'm going to talk about the
Mhm.
finance department for a second, okay? So you're in a dealership. Let's say that you have three finance people. Uh,
Mhm.
let's say your average 100, 125, 130 cars a month. And I'm just throwing figures out here. You have three finance people. Ideally, could you split all those deals up between the three you would like to?
Are you
A
going?
solid finance person who, if they do their job properly, here's the number because the math does not add up. If they do their job properly, 60 deals a month is freaking huge. 45 to 55 deals a month is when they actually make their most money. However, you're going to have finance people in there that want 80 deals a month because they feel that that's how they're going to succeed. I'll throw this out at you is because, Earl, what you said is what I believe in. I want to care for my client. That person in front of the finance person, that is their client. They can effectively do their job from 40 to 55 effectively, and they actually make more money when it is in that range. The people that go above 60, they actually don't make as much money, and they chase their tails the next 3 weeks after all those deals because they're correcting mistakes that took place. Okay, we'll take that situation. And first of all, Christine, am I wrong with what I just said?
Not at all.
Okay. So I take that model and let's bring it into our world of selling insurance. There's a lot of leaderboards on there that they have all these apps that you see in line. Doesn't mean they're going to convert them. The time that they have to go back and listen, please don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking them and I'm not saying they don't care. Okay. However, there is an achievement they feel they have to get. It's their DNA. It's how they function. I would just say, Earl, the steady wins the race. You know,
Mhm.
you've always heard that, and you see these people on the leaderboard. You're like, how in the world do they get that? It's because they push it through. That's the only thing that I'm saying to you, Earl. To me, again, this is me. I think you got the right alignment in your thought because you are a person who cares. And a client can only be as so lucky to have you because you will go to bat for them at all times. Now, that's not necessarily the case either with other agents. They don't go to bat for their people.
Well, and why do you think there's a 60% issue rate? Like that's the minimum, right? So 40% of the policies aren't getting issued. I mean,
Persistency is not there.
on
Right,
average.
right, right.
So, I
Part of
mean,
that's the
that's
system
huge.
too. You have instant decision policies, and you do one, and it gets declined. You still put it in the system as, oh, I wrote a policy. So what happened to me this month? It's got three policies, two of them for the same person because the first one got declined.
Right. And the insurance carriers are reporting that business as you wrote it, right? Even though it was declined,
Yeah.
um,
That's right.
like it's just one of those things that it's all over, right? It's just you can't help it.
So, Christine, I ask you this because the three of us don't are not privy to the information, but I would think that as an AO, you probably are and above. So my question to you is, at the end of the month, you guys probably see reports of what's been submitted, what's been declined.
Yep.
So
Well,
we
we
don't
get
see,
we know which carriers are issuing, which carriers are not, like what's the percentage, what's like we get all that information, yes.
so the point that I'm making is just because you see weekly leaderboards does not mean that it truly exists.
Exactly.
And they talk about this. This is something that Kevin Purdy and all of us down below, and even the owners of Symmetry, several years ago. I haven't heard it as much lately, uh, but that they talk about the persistency rate, how important it is. You know, issue paid, issue paid is where the bang is. And it's no different in the finance department. They're given, a lot of lenders stipulate there's a certain look to book ratio before they drop you as being one of their lenders. And people have no, the general public knows nothing about that, much less they don't care because it means nothing to them. But to a dealership, it is a highly important thing. You want to have as many lenders available to you. So, that's the same way in life insurance. You've got to, protect yourself. Now, if you don't write business in X amount of time for some of these carriers, they just go ahead and drop you.
And
Okay.
now it's even harder to get back on with them after you get dropped, especially after if you've been contracted with them twice and
Yes.
you still aren't writing business, it's really hard to get back on. Like it's next to impossible.
Yeah.
Even no, it doesn't even matter what your relationship is with the carrier. Like, a lot of AOs, we have relationships with uh the VP of sales, right? Because they're at the trips with us, right?
So I go back and everything that we've talked, all of us speaking on, that the title is really perfect. What is working? What works for you? You're the individual. It's not what works for everyone. It's what works for
It's
you. How do we as individuals take the accountability and take time to think about this? What is working for us? With that, I'm going to submit the four of us are more successful than we give ourselves credit for. Of course, we are always our harshest critic as well. So that's kind of the weighted scale within that. But listen, I look at the three of you guys, and I'll say this, and I'll say it proudly. I feel fortunate that I have friendships with all three of you. Never saw it coming, never would have guessed it. But I can say this, if you guys ever needed me, I would leave West Virginia to get to you if you needed help. And that's how I feel. That's what I feel this bond is created. And that's part of what's working. I'll tell you what works for me is getting on this daggone platform on a morning basis because it allows me to realize, hey, I'm a little bit better of a person than I thought I was. Man, that's a tough concept to say because you're saying, okay, ego's coming into play here. No, you don't have to use ego. It can be just you.
For
is
sure.
it easy to correct to say that we might bring out the best qualities in each other?
Hence the reason to be on this. Without question, you're spot on. Guys, I think it's easy to see this rabbit hole is never ending. It's from here to China and it's not stopping. Please join us on a daily basis. We're not licensed therapists, but we enjoy exploring these things because it does allow exactly what Mike Jones just said, bring out the best in each of us. We listen to the app Calm. Within that, we listen to Jay Shetty. He provides content that is absolutely priceless. Please join us on a daily basis.
And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please come back for more. See you soon. Bye.
Deuces.
Peace.